An idea burst into his mind, reckless and stupid. But hey, Korie Gray had always made reckless and stupid his bread and butter. He raced down to the ground floor in a blur of sequins and shimmer, flinging open the sitting room door. Not a single soul was inside. He didn't know if that concerned him more. Trying not to think on it, Korie picked his way through the armchairs and couches. He came to a halt, stood before the high bookshelves, towering around an entire corner and 2 walls of the room. Right then. The problem now was how to get it open. Glittery fingernails trailed across covers and spines, titles and pseudonyms. Surely one of these must be some kind of secret key, a lock or a hidden handle. Vigil had got the thing open. There must be a trick to it. Korie continued to ferret around, experimentally shuffling volumes, tilting a book here and there, trying his damnedest to get the bookcase doorway to appear. Not a single thing he attempted worked. Shit. Several long paces backwards saw Korie leaning over a couch, scrutinizing the bookshelves with narrowed eyes. "Why won't you open, you asshole?" A sigh escaped him, toes scuffing at a rich rug in front of the shelves. "Perhaps you ought to try flirting with them." Holy shit, would you stop doing that? Korie nearly slipped down the arm of the couch. Catching himself only just in time, he turned to meet the unwavering smile of Vigil, leaning casually against the mantelpiece. "Oh, come now, Kaylan. Do try to hold some decorum. I told you I am rooting for you." The man didn't move. He didn't blink. He watched as Korie got slowly back to his feet and approached the tall shelves laden with books. "Not going to give me a hint, then?" Vigil's smile remained. "Do what you do best." "That's it?" "That is it." Vigil straightened his tie. "The only question is, Kaylan Burser, what are you best at?" "Quit calling me that!" Korie didn't want to get too near the man. He contented himself with glaring from a few feet away. "But you were so close." Nails tip-tapped. "And I am afraid that if you continue to insist upon being this new Korie Gray, you may never get to see the beautiful end." What's that even mean? But Vigil did not answer that. "Come on then, Korie, perform for us. Flash thigh and flutter those eyelashes. Offer to bid me a dozen niceties. Go in search of another bed and another lover and another life. Because that is what you are best at, is it not? The only thing in the new Korie Gray's arsenal. A true one-trick pony ready to ride." "Stop it." The words left him hollow. Vigil continued with that fixed smile ever there, ever and always mocking and jibing. "That is what you made yourself. That is what you wanted to be. Break it or burn, Kaylan. Because the truth is coming, and yours is a blade that twists." Sour heat ricocheted up Korie's throat. He bit back the impulse to retch and drew a shivery breath. Bing ding bing ding. Cupiditas Cyber's jingle sounded somewhere in the distance. "Dawn is coming." Vigil stepped away from the fireplace. "Let's say you make these final hours count, Bing ding bing ding." The tune was not coming any closer. What was Kaylan Burser best at? There was something almost mistakable for kindness there. Can you recall? Korie turned back to the bookcases. What was he best at? "What am I best at?" he asked the air. A flurry of answers lit up the screen, now back in his hand. The live was up again, and every message had responded with the same thing they always did. "Sucking and fucking, sucking and fucking, sucking and fucking." The answer Korie had taught them. "Not Korie," a whisper. "Not Korie. Me." He began to inspect the books properly this time, not just vague colours and ornate covers. He read the titles. Mystery of Earl Grey House. Deep in the Trenches, A Hero's Path. Memoirs of a Diva in Denial. Wuthering Heights. On he read, up on tiptoe to reach the top shelves, then down on all fours for those nestled at the bottom. The Brutal Truth. Painting and its Oddities. Taming the Wildest Horse. Sunday Lunch, a Triumph. Making Me Laugh, You Always Could. Seizing the Day. Then he saw it, and everything in him knew that one was his. Sitting quietly between a heavy volume titled Late Night Poetry of the Soul and a tiny little one bound in yellow leather was Korie's answer. Before everything, before Korie Gray, the party slut boy, before hoes and glow sticks, what Kaylan was best at. The book was purple with gold painted edges. As he slid it from its place, he heard the secret latch click, and the shelf swung slowly open. Behind him, Vigil said, "I am still rooting for you, Kaylan." Without a word or a glance back, Korie stepped through the opening and into whatever lay beyond. Clutched close to his chest, the purple and gold title read, "Your Pride, Making Something Beautiful." He walked for a long time, letting the streaming phone dimly light the way. This passage was thin, caught between the walls of the manor, as it wound gently down and down and down. Neon chat bubbles continued to pop. "Korie! Let's go! Ghost hunting, baby! Hot as fuck! Super hot! Stoked for the big finish! Bet, bet, bet! By your side! Peace of mind! Hot, hot, hot!" Korie swallowed and shook his head. Then he met a stone dead end. This tunnel didn't bend or sever, just stopped. It was Korie in a cobbled wall. The fuck? He ran a finger across the stone. A slight breeze licked at him. There was a crevice dented in the midst, a gap crumbling at his touch. Korie tugged. The crevice grew wider. Fingertips scratched and pulled, encouraging as more and more rock fell away. When the dust settled, there was a space in the dead-end wall. It lay narrow. He would have to crawl on his belly. So he did. Thrusting the book and phone ahead in his hands, Korie wormed his way into the hole. The squeeze was tight, claiming another shred of the gold-sequined gown. On he pressed as another cold breath of air rustled by. It had come from up ahead, so he burrowed further, following it. He came to a smooth surface of either marble or a similar stone. It was carved in a rectangle, slits of grey light breaking the seams. Korie gave it a push, and the rectangle shifted. It was heavy, and he couldn't find much purchase lying flat as he was. He shoved and shoved, every move dragging gasps from his lungs and a sting from all the scrapes on his shoulder. But every time, the slit of dull light grew just a little wider, so he kept on going. "By your side!" Korie froze. The trilling tune was loud. "Peace of mind!" Blue light flickered through the slit. Bing ding bing ding! And then horror struck as the jingle played on. "Hey there, my beautiful pride. Are you sick of having to remember login info for every single thing online? Want to save that space in your brain for funner, better things? Well, check out cupiditascyber.com, a brand new digital security service committed to keeping your stuff safe. They take care of everything so you don't have to. For just $3.99 a month, Cupiditas Cyber will create safe, secure details for all your logins, and all you have to do is click. Never have to remember a password again with Cupiditas Cyber. Check out the link in my bio to get your first 6 months for only £1 a month when you use the code KorieCyber. Be safe and beautiful out there. Bing ding bing ding, bing ding bing ding. By your side, peace of mind. Blue light burned as the ad began again. "Hey there, my beautiful pride. Are you sick of— Shut up, shut up!" Slam went his shoulder, and Korie yelled in pain. Fresh cuts mingled with the old ones as he shoved at the stone. Well, check out cupiditascyber.com, a brand new digital security service committed to keeping your stuff— No! Clutched in his hand, the chat was popping. OMG, I remember those ads. Throwback. Fuck CC. Fuck CC, they ruined my life. They stole money, right? Yeah, straight out of everyone's banks. OMG, what? How? You been living under a rock or something? It was 3 years ago. OMG, I was only 14 then. OMG, same twinsies. Are you a Libra too? OMG, yes. But wasn't CC a security brand? Perfect cover, right? Get everyone's passwords, then clean out their online accounts. People lost millions altogether. But didn't they arrest him? He never told them where he hid the money. Oh shit. Apparently the trail went cold. Bet it sat in a foreign bank somewhere. Bet. Fuck. Bet. Fuck. Poor Korie. Yeah, he felt awful. Imagine finding out your partner's a crook like that. OMG. They were both home when the cops came to arrest Luca. There were photos all over the internet. Holy shit, epic Korie lore. It was horrible. We love you, Korie. We love you, Korie. We love you, Korie. OMG, found an old pic of them. They were so cute. User SS347 sent picture. Ah, I thought all those got wiped off his socials. Ah, cute, 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 cute. I mean, can you blame him for wiping it? I'd have done the same thing. Wiped it all, started again. OMG, Luca looks so normal. You never can tell. Nah, there's something in the eyes. Korie stopped crashing against stone to stare at the photo hovering on the screen. Where'd you get this? He croaked. Luca was smiling. Luca was always smiling. He had an arm happily wound around Korie's waist, and Korie had an arm around Luca's shoulder. Soft curls were dancing. There was light spilling from somewhere. Korie was laughing, all teeth and crinkled eyes, legs strung across Luca's gangly ones. Fuck. They looked happy. Fuck. They were happy. Chat, can you take that down? A rush of replies came at once. It's on your Insta still, baby. Says you posted it today. Insta says 2 hours ago. What? Caption says that Latin stuff again. What? He was locked in. The stream refused to close. He clicked and clicked, but it would not budge. The chat continued on. That stuff you read earlier, it wasn't me. Non ego iram. Didn't you post it? OMG, Korie got hacked. Bing ding bing ding. Shut up, shut up. One last slam and the rectangle broke. The slit of light engulfed his vision, and Korie tumbled out onto a cobblestone floor he recognised with a jolt. The crypt sat mocking around him. There was no sign of the coffin he'd smashed out of. Twisting up on his elbows, Korie peered up at the space he'd crawled through. Every nerve in his body seemed to chill. Luca Heights. The name was still there. It sat emblazed at the top of the tomb, where now a crushed gap lay broken in the stone. Blue light burst again, and with it played the dreaded tune. Bing ding bing ding. By your side. Korie struggled to his feet, holding tight to the phone and the book. Peace of mind. His own voice came loud and clearly. Hey there, my beautiful pride. Are you? No, shut up, shut up, shut up! But the words became gasps, became screams in the night, as Korie grabbed at a carved table dead centre of the chamber, hauling himself up. He saw where the blue light was coming from. His scream rose and hung in the air like flotsam in a storm. He could only shake and let out strangled howls of terror, staggering backwards in the tiny space until his spine met another tomb. And before him, on a round marble worktop, lay Luca Heights. Not a shadow, not a memory, and unmistakably dead. Korie did not fall quiet for a long time. All the while as he cried and quaked, Luca lay motionless, blue light shining from a stab wound in his chest. Bing ding bing ding. A sob. Bing ding bing ding. Blue poured under Luca's skin. By your side. The blue began to ooze. Peace of mind. It dribbled, pooling the carved stone. Too transfixed on blue, Korie did not see the corpse's lips part. Why didn't you tell them? No! Shit fuck no! Soft curls fell as Luca's head turned to face him. Why, Kit Kat? Bing ding bing ding. No! Luca coughed. Thick, glowing blue bubbled at his mouth. Why didn't you give it to the police? Bing ding bing ding. Stop it! Stop it! The corpse retched. Blue splattered down its chin. No! But as he made to turn back towards the shattered tomb, Korie felt a hand close at his wrist. Fuck off! The book fell. When it hit the floor, its pages burst into a shatter of photographs. Luca smiled in every single one. Kaylan and Luca, back in time, in the great before. Grey eyes widened, handfuls of memories scattered, moments he had torn off their walls and scrunched away into the very back of his mind for 3 years. A group sat piled in a minivan headed for Scotland, all shiny in stupidly early morning sunlight. Luca was clasping the map he'd insisted they bring, and of course he'd been right, 2 days later in the pouring rain when they all lost signal and directions. Beside that photo lay another. It must have been someone's birthday because they were all adorned in pointy cone hats and blowing kazoos. Korie was kissing Luca's cheek. Maybe it was his birthday. He tried to turn away, to not look, to not see, but then again, he didn't try very hard. Perhaps after all that time, something in him was curious, or homesick, or just sad. So he did see. He saw the van and the party hats. Just above those two, one photo lay upside down. Korie recognised his own shoulder blade inked in roses. He was lying half out of the image, grinning up at Luca as he lay dreamily on a sun lounger by a pool. Was that Spain? They had done Spain, right? Or was it Italy? Another world, another lifetime. His heart made a small lurch as his gaze wandered to the next photo. It was just a kitchen, a real grubby one despite Luca's best efforts, but try telling a haul of 8 freshers to stay on top of the washing up. Korie had sneaked awake at 4 AM to manically clean the place top to bottom after he'd stumbled across Luca washing dishes during a party. The picture was taken the following morning. Fuck, he remembered it like yesterday. Actually, better than yesterday. Yesterday had ended with pricey shots and some kind of sex with some kind of someone, but that party, in their first week back after Christmas, that he remembered. How long had it been? 6? 7 years? The kitchen was dark. The sun always rose at the back end of their block. Korie used to whine that it hit his window first, a sick joke on the one always sleeping latest, but that day he'd crashed out at the little kitchen table, still holding the dish towel. Luca found him, of course, padding in to make his cup of floral tea, and tripping over sparkly legs in sparkly leggings. He'd poured them both a cup that morning, and they'd listened to a breakfast radio show Luca liked. It was nice. Korie had just sat and looked at those hazel eyes and soft curls and kind smile. Many, many months later, he would realise what that morning was. It had been Amelia, right? Or was it Kath? Probably both, who had staggered blearily in to join them much later. They'd giggled at the sight of them, though neither of the boys understood why. Then a flash as a photo was snapped. He'd thought nothing of it, but when the picture was one of those pinned up on the fridge a few days later in a wash of shots from the party, it had made a funny swoop begin in his chest. In the present, chill-swept crypt, Korie sniffed a sigh. Another picture lay close to his foot, drawing him hatefully on. Snow sat in drifts. Luca was wearing a big hat with the flaps pulled low around his ears. Korie was wearing lime green fluffy earmuffs. They were posed either side of a freshly built snowman like proud parents. Another photo. Luca in pyjamas, Korie in underwear, laughing at a joke and cooking dinner. Another photo. A sloppy makeout in a street bedecked in rainbows, buffeted in the singing crowd. Another. Sat on a heap of boxes, their first day in their apartment. Another. Luca on his hands and knees, fiddling with wires feeding into a large computer. Another. Korie dressed as a cat in a slinky bodysuit, waving at Luca behind the camera one Halloween. Another. They'd only just met. The whole gang was huddled in a pub for getting-to-know-you drinks. Korie was teasing Luca. Luca was ignoring him. Another. They all had freshers' flu and no one felt up to cooking. Davy had ordered way too many chips and had them delivered. They were all leaning, elbows on the table, dragging thick-cut chippy chips into their mouths. About 5 minutes after Korie snapped that shot, Luca and Kath had thrown up again. Another. Making daisy chains in the spring out the back of the sports hall. Everyone had been forced to wear one of Korie and Amelia's creations. Luca had resisted, but Korie had sat on his lap, prodding at him until he got his way. Another. Early in their first term, Korie had found a mouse in the skip and brought it inside. He'd named it Sinbad and spent an afternoon building a run out of toilet tube rolls and delivery boxes. In the picture, Amelia was peering into the box with Korie, Kath was screaming, Davy was standing on a chair, and Luca was leaning on the doorway looking tired. The next picture was their last day with the mouse, about a month later. He needed to be free, to find some new friends, they decided. So Luca had walked out of town with Korie in the box to find the nearest perfect patch of nature and release him. Korie had been surprised that Luca volunteered to go. He'd always seemed more perplexed and frustrated by Sinbad's presence than anyone. Luca had taken the photo of Korie holding Sinbad, poking his nose between his fingers, smiling hopefully into the camera. Then another. Oh. He could not stop the breath that escaped him in a rush. Fuck. It was the same crowded kitchen, another party. Sometime in July, Korie thought, yeah, right before the summer break after their second year. They'd all stayed, because fuck moving out of halls and into the world just yet. But that second year had been the last, with that cramped corridor and squished single beds and leaky shower and one pane missing from the front door. It was home and they loved it. New chapters were coming though, and 5 had signed up together in a lease in town, 2 doors away from the other 3. Blake, Jack and Mason were all studying ancient philosophy and liked to stay awake until the wee hours debating ethical dilemmas, so really it was a well-cut divide. Plus the pub always called them back together like glue. So naturally there had to be a party. A rager of astonishing excessive noise, but as they'd invited everyone from all the surrounding halls, no one was going to complain. The photo had been taken at around 1 in the morning. Korie had been dancing non-stop for over an hour, and was probably more tequila than flesh and blood. After slut-dropping with Amelia, twerking furiously with Kath, and getting pulled into a haphazard jig with Mason and Davy, Korie had done what he had been doing every outing for the last 2 years. Attempt to convince Luca to dance. It had never worked. Even when utterly sloshed, Luca was an immovable object. Korie had tried whining, pouting, complaining, teasing, even a mimed lasso, but nope, Luca did not dance. He was adamant. But at 1 AM, Blake had put Queen on the playlist, and enough was enough. It was all well and good to snub ABBA and refuse Lady Gaga, but Queen? Hell to the no. Korie had swung a leg over Luca's lap and plonked himself down, facing the stubborn git. "Now, listen here, you," he began, jabbing a stripy purple nail against Luca's chest. "This is not only a classic, but it's also my favourite. So come and dance, else you are just a big old meanie mean pants from Meantown. Minneapolis." Luca put down his bottle and grinned up at the pouting man, deeply invading his personal space. Is that right? His curls were pushed back tonight, Korie realised, and at once thought how nice they must feel. "Uh-huh," he nodded. "So, come and dance with me, or..." Luca was looking at him, all hazel eyes and big, huge smile. "Or..." Korie considered, tipsy brain whirring. "Or... I'll never talk to you again." "Don't threaten me with a good time, Kaylan." "Oi, you'd miss hearing me talk." "Oh, absolutely." "Meanie, I meant it." Did you?" Korie raised an eyebrow, folding his arms. "Of course I'd miss talking to you. Plus it'd make next year really awkward." Korie huffed. "Dance with me then." "I don't dance." "I know you can," Korie sang at once, and got an answering call from Amelia. "Not a chance." There was a brief interlude while the pair launched into a rendition of High School Musical, but then Korie turned right back to the man whose lap he was still sat straddling. "Look, I am never ever gonna let this drop, so you may as well accept your fate now, and come dance to the best song in the world ever." Another pout for good measure. "Or," Luca tapped Korie's chest and held the touch, "I could just distract you until you forget about it." Korie had laughed. "What could you possibly do to distract me enough to stop me from..." That was when Luca had stood up fast from his chair, thrown Korie backwards onto the kitchen table, and began to kiss him. Flash went Davy and Amelia and Kath's cameras, and the moment was captured forever. "By your side." Buried in Luca's ribs, the jingle came again. The corpse lay flat on the table, one arm reached out at Korie, holding on tight as he dragged his eyes away from the photographs. "Why didn't you save me?" Blue trickled over his tongue. "Why? Tears racked Korie's throat. "Peace of mind." Devastatingly slow, Luca's hand turned. It dragged lower, grasping until they were palm to palm. Cold, dead fingers fell into place, and their hands entwined. No. A breath in the crypt. "Why?" Luca's mouth flooded in blue. Bing ding bing ding. His chest pulsed with it. "Why?" Bing ding bing ding. He was being pulled closer. "By your side." Icy fingers clasped, dragging his hand towards peace of mind. No. He wasn't strong, and nor had Luca been, but now... Bing ding bing ding. Korie struggled, yelping another sob, but the corpse would not be shaken off. Together, The fingertips met the jagged gash spiked between ribs and pressed into it. Bing ding bing ding. Cold skin rippled. Blue squelched. Why? Luca's voice. Hazel eyes, blank and dead, but blazing up at him. Why, Kit Kat? More blue gurgled out of the wound. By your sup. Joined hands met something sticky, and the jingle stopped. Silence filled the crypt as Korie finally released Luca's gaze and looked down. Horribly, his knuckles brushed against rib. Bone clinked on his rings. Korie tilted his hand, flesh and blue close at every inch, until he could feel what sat inside Luca's chest. His breath shook, tears stung his eyes, snot clung at his nostrils. His fingers closed around something thin and smooth, and Korie knew what it was. Still, he had to drag it out. Blue came with it, leaking in a spray covering corpse and man. A phone sat in his grip. As he stared, his heart began to pound, blood racing hot in his ears. He couldn't breathe, he couldn't think. Bing ding bing ding. The screen lit up blue. Oh my god. He couldn't let go. Luca's hand dropped to the table with a dull thunk as the screen glowed and another trill sounded. Bing ding bing ding. Trembling, sniffing, all his senses blown, Korie tapped in Luca's passcode. KitKat 270717. It was all still there. Every article, every email, every search and detail, saved and stored. All the proof they would ever need. In the background of everything, Luca's wallpaper. Their happy faces shone out. Luca had always loved that picture. Legs over one another, smiles and laughter. Back in the great before. Bing ding bing ding. Bing ding bing ding. Blue vomited from the screen. It seared his hand, and with a yelp, Korie managed to drop it. When it hit the floor, Luca's phone smashed in a wave of blue. The corpse was gone as Korie stood up. He really did not want to go back into that tomb again, but there seemed to be no other choice. There was not one hint of the trapdoor he had used before. The cobblestone sat stark and cold beneath his feet. OMG, what the fuck? Is that blood? Sick FX makeup. Gore fest! Was he still alive? Dazed, blinking, Korie raised his phone. OMG, that's so gnarly. Sick, obsessed, sexy sick, sick as fuck, still sexy as fuck. 200 for you to lick it. Pose, Korie. Halloween screensaver time. What? Korie lowered the screen and began towards the cracked open tomb. Blue stuck to his feet, stuck to the photograph, stuck to the floor as he walked. Something rumbled and fell, shaking the crypt in dust and dirt. Shit. Another something fell, landing with a slam. Then lots of smaller somethings, and again, rocks. The tunnel was caving in. Korie bolted to the broken tomb and peered in, wide-eyed, but slam! A final rock fell. His way was completely barred. Fuck, shit, fuck! What to do? He had to get out, but how? There were no doors, no windows, no... Korie looked up. Fuck! The snake, coloured in glass, laid in wait, brushed through with moonlight. Really, what else could he do? Tattered gold sequins were wound tight around his waist, his phone clenched tight between his teeth, and so Korie began to climb. Hands skidded on the crafted stone, toes catching in the engraved names. When he reached the top, he slithered onto the shelf housing the highest stacked tombs. The glass snake was bigger up here, coiled in a loop, unbroken as scales arced around and about up to the head, which was swallowing its own tail. Fucking hell. Korie shuffled across on his back, stretching out to reach the first coloured pane. A pant for breath. Then he punched. It hurt, but it was working. The stained glass was thin. It shattered after only a couple of impacts. But there was a lot to go before a gap big enough to let him pass would open. Clinging on half upside down, Korie began to hammer at the glass. Another pane crashed, scattering him in shards. Fuck! Spitting, he carried on, knocking out the centre of the snake's coil. Someone up there! A voice sounded in the grounds outside. Never would Korie have anticipated feeling glad to see Malcolm again, but by bloody hell was he delighted now. Malcolm! He yelled from his backwards perch. It seemed Mr. Grantham had felt a similar way, as the voice that called back to him was, "Ah, for God's sake." I don't reckon any gods can help us right now. Korie punched out another bite of snake. Give a twink a hand, would you? There was a step on rock, then another. Malcolm's face appeared in the gap. What are you doing? What's it look like? Korie gasped, clutching at a stitch forming in his chest. I'm breaking out. Skeptical eyes trailed over the scene, taking it all in, before Malcolm finally said, Right, well lie back then, princess. Leave the men's work to the men. Smash! The rest of the snake shattered in one heavy kick. Korie flung his arms over his face as glass rained down. Here we go. Thick fingers wound around his shoulders. Hey! Then he was out, swaying in the moon-flooded grounds as Malcolm set him down and rolled up his sleeves. Thanks. Korie slid down to the grass and sat, waiting for his head to stop churning. 2 sturdy footfalls. What the hell were you doing in there anyway? Korie watched Malcolm's feet spin. Everyone else is dead. I was trying to get out, but I don't know if we even can. Dead? How can they all be dead? You for real? Korie closed his eyes. It didn't do much, but at least the world wasn't swirling. This place is messed up. Pansy went nuts. Sandra got eaten by a giant corridor mouth, and Lee... He shivered. Looked like he got mowed down by a freight train. Malcolm made a tutting noise. Where have you been then? Korie asked. Recceing the gardens. Corey's head lolled forwards. He caught it in his hands and leaned onto his knees. Seen any spooky shit? An arm was resting just at his back. Malcolm was leaning on a hand, closer. That your blood? He tapped the sequins at Corey's stomach. Nah, most of it came off Sandra. And the blue gunk is... But how to explain that? Almost luckily, he didn't have to. What blue gunk? Strong hands moved Corey's out of the way so Malcolm could inspect the rest of him. What? Blinking, Korie looked down. There was no blue splatter down his front, no blue caked over his hand. Instead, all there was thick, dark crimson. Holy fuck! Korie scrabbled, rubbing at the gold, trying to shove the stains away, but it was no use. It wasn't. It was blue, and that fucking song, and he was... He burst into tears. Malcolm was close at his shoulder, looming. Sick in the head, you lot. Always the same. Take any little thing and twist it into some monumental catastrophe to have a good cry about, post it all over the internet, and then move on to the next. What? Heaviness leaned over his cheek as Malcolm pressed on and on. And you're still filming even now. Korie felt the phone wrenched from his grasp. Had he been holding that? Chat bubbles lit up in colours. Hello there. Malcolm held the screen between them. Your friend's feeling a little worse for wear, I'm afraid. A torrent of messages poured in. You want me to cheer him up? Malcolm was reading them. And how do you expect me to do that? Korie blinked, groping for the phone, but Malcolm held it aloft. I ship it. Get it on. What time is it? Slut o'clock, slut o'clock, slut o'clock. Korie do what Korie do best. F is for fuck. Someone always has to fuck in a horror movie. And this is your contribution to the world, is it? Malcolm's voice was hot at his ear. Korie battered him away. Fuck off. A hand balled tight into gold, bloody sequins at Corey's waist. Cakes and makeup on and a ladyboy dress, and that means people should drop hundreds of their hard-earned money on tarted up pictures of you, does it? Get off me! The grass was coarse. It dug into his back. When had he fallen over? A heavy hand held his phone in a fist as it hit the ground beside him. All lit up, Korie could see the messages. Slut o'clock, live show, take it off, hot boy Korie. How wild would it be if Korie topped for once? Kiss, 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 slut o'clock. Something hot was pricking at his eyes. I don't... What? The other heavy hand was at his hips. You made enough noise with that little gay boy. Korie kicked out, finding only more grass. We all heard you before dinner, so don't go pretending it's all for show now. You want it, you ask for it, you take it. Get off me. The stream was lighting up again. Slaughter clock, slaughter clock, slaughter clock. Fuck. He'd made this. He'd forged his own mob, and now their pitchforks were marching on him, expecting it all. The frivolous hoe he had carved from his own image. The party-mad twink with an ass that never quit. Never say when, never enough, never too much of a good thing. Fuck off! With every last droplet of effort, Korie lashed up at Malcolm, catching him across the face. Sparkly nails tore, and Malcolm smacked him as he tumbled off. Blood ran down his bruised nose, but Korie rose, shaking to his feet, and backed away. His phone lay tantalising by his feet. Korie picked it up. Chat exploded, but he didn't read any of it. Instead, he spoke, loud and clear. This isn't right, this isn't me. He began to walk, away from Malcolm, towards the other side of the grounds. Maybe he could make it to the gates. This is just shit. He wiped his nose. I don't want to do it anymore. Several hundred followers unsubscribed. Whatever. He kept going. Gravel crunched sharp at his feet. Ow! Shit! Fuck! He winced. Look, slut it up as much as you want, but slutting for the wrong reasons means something's wrong. So, I think I'm gonna take a break from... An army of shadowy figures emerged out of the darkness. Shitting hell. The shadows advanced, slow, synchronized footsteps drawing ever nearer. Shitting hell! Korie took off at a sprint back towards the house, but Vigil was standing on the front step, a wine glass to his lips, observing the proceedings. Korie roared, "What the fuck is this?" But Vigil only wagged a finger at him. Fuck! The shadows had reached the gravel now, and there was nowhere left to run. As they marched, the dark figures began to speak. You took my money. I lost everything. We trusted you. Every penny we saved. I trusted you. I trusted you. I'm sorry. Korie felt bile climbing his throat again. He span on the spot, staring as shadows drew closer to where he stood, unable to move. I'm sorry. Was Luca out there in that crowd? A pit of everyone he'd hurt. I didn't know. But he did. I wanted to stop. But had he? At last, Korie choked on a sob and said it. It's my fault. The shadows marched on. I persuaded you all to buy their stuff. I knew it was dodgy, but I didn't listen. The shadows marched. I got greedy. Every time I could have stopped, another fat check would come, and I just kept going. The shadows marched. I'm sorry, Korie cried out to the crowd. He told me Cupidita's cyber was fucked. He warned me I was stupid, and now he... But the words were drowned in a mouthful of gravel. Korie hit the dirt, and Malcolm leapt on top of him. You were behind that cyber bullshit, he bellowed. Do you have any idea how much I lost? A fist slammed down. Korie rolled away, coughing. You miserable little bastard! I'm sorry, Korie screamed. I knew it was sus, but I had no idea what would happen. Bullshit. The shadows were gathering closer now, a circle of them closing him in. We trusted you. You told us it was safe. I know, Korie sniffed. I know. I'm so sorry. Malcolm Grantham was back on his feet. Gravel crunched as he snarled. It took me months to build my portfolio back up to scratch, Korie stammered. Because of you, I was stuck down at the bottom of the ladder. But you didn't give a rat's ass, did you? Too busy playing dumb dress up for your Nancy mates. I'm sorry. When did Malcolm rise to his feet? What was that in his hand? White. What was white in the moonlit night? And thin. Thin to a razor-sharp point. Malcolm, put it down! The cellar key hissed through the air. You're going to regret the day you were born! No. Malcolm, please stop! Stab. Thud. Korie landed on his back, clutching his chest. Crimson pooled under his fingers. We trusted you. The shadows were closing ranks. His lungs were tight, burning. I'm so... You took my money, Malcolm Grantham. Sweeping dark figures passed right over Korie. The circle was closing in, but not on him. Malcolm stood, skeletal key dripping red in his hands, swiping left and right. You knew the risks, he shouted. I lost everything. My retirement fund, my life's savings, my children's college fund. I made you no promises. Swipe, swipe. Sometimes investments don't pan out. That's just the way the game goes. You told us it was safe. If you didn't want to gamble, you shouldn't have. What of your own honeypots, Malcolm? I made my own separate investments, naturally, and if they happen to work out a little better, because the game was rigged in your favour from the start. The shadows stopped. Korie could see Malcolm's feet surrounded by black. False names, elaborate webs. Our loss became your gain. Hundreds of thousands in your gain. If I didn't do it, someone else would have. Malcolm's feet shifted. It's a dog-eat-dog world, survival of the fittest. I just played a better game. You tore us apart and feasted on the spoils. There was a ripping noise, flesh on fabric. You shall know how it feels. Another rip. Flesh. Malcolm screamed into a void of shadowy shapes, and Korie did not stay to hear how it ended. He scurried backwards, clutching his chest. Something warm was dripping at his throat. He wanted to cough, but choked. Most of his vision was lost in shadows. They crowded a mass of black under the grey moonlight. Clouds crept across the sky as something else finally met his eyes. The maze. Vast hedges standing to attention in neat rows, on and on into the murky distance. When did so much mist descend? Fuck, he was cold. The manor was obscured completely now, as Korie stared up from his back, scanning the horizon. The grey mist was close all around, glistened through with ghostly moonlight. Eyes swam eerily in the grey, watching. Vigil was still standing on the front step, sipping. He twirled his fingers in the air, fixed smile locked in place, and the mist knitted together, blocking everything from view. Wait! But Korie's voice was lost into the new grey-stained landscape. Cloud crashed in, smoky mist curled. He was quite alone. Breath was getting harder and harder to come by. He tried to stand, but his chest was weighing him down. Anchor to dirt, a chain of blood dribbling crimson. Fuck. His stomach turned and his throat bubbled. Korie spat blood across the grass. Fuck. There was nowhere else to go. All he knew was dense, encompassing fog. Elbows scraping through soil, one hand grasping at the hollow between his ribs, Korie crawled into the maze. Of course the entrance was open for him. Of course it had stood ready. Perhaps it had been awaiting him all this time. The hedges creaked as he passed. Dark leaves shuddered in a cold breeze that swept at Korie's hair. Fuck. Arms dragged. Fuck. Nails scraped the dirt. He was so cold, he couldn't stop the shivers rattling. Fuck. On and on he went, making his slow, painful progress. Every path looked the same as every other, but somehow he found no dead ends. Was it luck? Or some foul form of torture keeping his hopes high and unsuspecting? Whatever it was, it led him to the heart. A final twist in the rough centre, when he had gone as far as he could go. Skin scraped raw. The blood was streaming slower now. That couldn't be a good sign. A red sort of smush was invading the edges of his sight. Maybe that's where the blood went. But the trail laid sodden in the grass behind him told a different story. The mist had drowned everything away now, as he clawed at the curved hedge, pulling his shaky limbs up to sit collapsed against the branches. He could see only shrouded, blank nothingness beyond the centre bend in the maze. Really, really not wanting to, Korie looked down. It was deep, filled to the brim with rich red. His fingers bent, stuck to it as he hunched forwards, trying to catch a full breath. Holy hell. He was so alone. Well, what had he expected? Did he believe a great crowd would gather to mourn, to intervene? Was some selfish part of him expecting Luca's ghost to descend from on high and carry him away? Or worse, did he think he deserved it? His eyes drifted closed, a little too long for a blink. Bing ding bing ding. The sound was like a second stab to the chest. Bing ding bing ding. By your side, peace of mind. Blue light ignited the night. Fuck. His phone was back in his hand, the screen littered with blue and blue and blue, the same advert again and again. Cupiditas Cyber, so you never need to remember a password again. Digital protection for all, by your side, for peace of mind. Korie snivelled, watching the text scroll round and round. I should have listened, he whispered. I should have listened to you. Wait. Was that? Sirens. Off in the distance, but drawing nearer all the time. Korie could see their lights bursting through the fog. Bing ding bing ding. Closer they came. Bing ding bing ding. Wheels screeched on pavement. By your side. Doors slammed, feet came hurrying, shouts up and down the street. Peace of mind. Kaylan? Oh no. Anything but this. Louis? The fog was taking shape through flashing blue siren lights. Boots were running, doors banging, thundering raps. Hey, Kit Kat? Luca yawned, rolling nearer. I'm sorry. I hate when we fight. I promise I never meant to imply. It's fine, Lou. On the floor below, someone's doorbell was ringing insistently. Gentle hands, warm and cozy from sleep, caressed Korie's cheek. I love you, Kit Kat. If he just reached out, he could hold Luca tight and never let go. The mattress squeaked. Where were you tonight? I thought it was just meant to be drinks. The bar closed 2 hours ago. Yeah, I... Several boots were clamping up the stairs, running across their hall. Kit Kat, what's wrong? Bang, 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 on their apartment door. What the? Luca was sitting up, rubbing his eyes. Curls fell across his face, and Korie felt his heart ache. Bang, 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 bang. Luca Heights, Kaylan Burser. This is the LW97 police. Open the door. What on earth? Luca was out of bed and so far away. Korie tried to stand, but fuck, was he tipsy. He could still taste whoever it had been on his tongue. So he never got up, just watched. As Luca padded out of their bedroom in his fluffy slippers and Pokemon pyjamas and soft curls, as Luca unlocked their door, as the cops swarmed in, as they shouted about scams and cybercrime and warrants for arrest, as Luca's hands were cuffed and his sweet face hit the wall, as Luca cried out to him, wide eyes so certain that Korie would answer. My phone? No, I don't. It's not here. Kaylan took it when we... Babe, show them my phone. It's got everything. There's proof. But Korie did not move. Babe, give it to them. It's okay. It'll all be okay. You were mad. It's okay. I don't care you took it. Just give it to them now and it'll all be okay. There were so many people. It made the apartment feel even smaller. His heart squeezed tight. Luca's phone. Kaylan? He'd taken Luca's phone. Babe, just show them what I showed you. It'll all be okay. He'd been so mad. Lost in it mad. Luca was just trying to help and he'd been awful. He hadn't listened. He didn't want to hear. Kaylan, where? I don't have your phone. Almost. What? I never took your phone. Closer. You did, honey, but it's okay. I promise, it's all okay. We just need to get it back now, yeah? I don't have it. Nearly there. Blue light whirled. Luca's face shone with it. Okay, well, where did you end up tonight? Maybe you left it somewhere." "No." His mouth twisted. "No, no." His mouth tasted foreign, not of Luca. So wrong. "I didn't go anywhere. I don't have it. I didn't take it. I... He wanted to throw up. He might. He would. Luca's face swam with hurt and confusion. "Kaylan?" New shapes then. Reading, writes. Did he understand? Did Luca understand? No, it wasn't me. Tell them." Tears sprang, shattering Luca's eyes. "Tell them, please. Kaylan, tell them it wasn't me." There. He sat on their bedsheets and watched as it all happened. Later, he sat in an interview room and told his tale, extinguishing chunks into dust. Just a normal night. No fight, just normal. He had gone out to the bar. Normal. He never took Luca's phone. Never snatched it from him in frustration, because didn't Luca see how amazing their lives could be? Cupiditas Cyber was offering him the moon and stars. It would be crazy not to take it. Why was Luca spoiling things? Going on about research and wrongs and proof and... I have it all here, see? Please, Kit Kat, won't you just trust me and look it over at least? I know it's so awful, but you need to back out now before someone gets hurt. If this company has people's data, think of the damage they could do. They could get right into their banks, their accounts, everything. Please, Kit Kat, get out while you still can." He could so easily have listened. "Kaylan, please." But fuck off, Louis. Just because you're all Mr. Super Cool Code Tech whatever the fuck at work doesn't mean you've got to bring it home with you. Just chill, okay? You're giving me a headache. Please, Kit Kat, just look at why. Fuck off. It was just to get it out of his face. It was just so he could breathe. Luca's phone was in his hand and chucked to the depths of his bag as Korie was out of their apartment without any sign of a goodbye. In his tale, he did not drink to try to get dastardly drunk. In the tale he told the policeman, Korie sipped on cocktails and laughed at jokes with friends. Then, after an hour or two, he went straight home and into bed with the man he loved. He did not pound shots with a stranger. He did not let them tug at his collar and rub at his knee. He did not tumble into a taxi with them and go to a nameless strange man's bed. In the tale printed on official papers, Korie went straight home. He did not let a stranger touch him like Luca touched him and kiss him as Luca kissed. He never moaned or dug his nails into their back. He never sighed and gasped and whined for more. He did not throw up when it was all over. And most of all, he did not turn tail and run as hard as he could, so fast that he forgot to grab the little bag adorned in sequins, that tiny, should-be insignificant bag that had fallen discarded from staggering arms, ditched with his coat and boots, in a cupboard stuffed full of coats and boots and bags. In a sea of so much, it would not be missed or found, or remembered. Korie signed his name with a flourish, sealing his tale into truth. He did not look at Luca as he was allowed to walk free. He did not watch as Luca Heights, tech-savvy and clever, was found guilty and taken away. In all of that, he could have made it right, could have stopped the whole thing, but he didn't. Why, Kit Kat? Oh, of course. The world encased in fog and only one thing moved through it. Luca Heights walked, following the bloody trail. His own open wound wept a wave of blue. It dripped down his stomach, mingling with Korie's crimson over the grass. Why didn't you tell them? Luca reached Korie, kneeling in the damp, mossy blades of green beside him. Luca was sweeter than ever. If only he could... Korie missed their touch more than anything. Isn't it time for the truth, Kit Kat? He was right. Somehow that sweet, kind, clever as fuck man was usually right. Okay. Shivering fingers lifted the phone, and like he'd known it would be, Korie saw his stream was live. Hey there, beautiful bride. Blood popped tiny bubbles in the corners of his lips. I need to... Luca knelt, bleeding beside him. My name's Kaylan Burser, he began as bile congealed with crimson and dribbled out of his nostrils. My boyfriend was Luca Heights, but he never... A splash of tears fell. He wasn't behind Cupiditas Cyber. He tried to warn me about it. More blood spilled to his mouth. I did have his phone. It did have everything on it. Everything he ever found out. Luca wanted to expose them. He wanted me to do it too, but I got angry and scared and I... Bing ding, bing ding. Chat was moving at a breakneck pace, but Korie did not pause to read any of it. I got greedy and selfish, and when we argued, I... A great spurt of blood burned out of his chest. I had his phone. I forgot. I had it with me, but I left it, and I never went back for it, because... Hazel eyes waited patiently, knelt at Korie's side, watching. Because if I got the phone, I'd have to explain where it was. And I couldn't do that because I left the phone at some random house when I... Bing ding bing ding. Bing ding bing ding. Bing ding bing ding. I cheated on him. The confession tasted of iron. I hooked up with some guy in his house. That's where Luca's phone is. I could have stopped it all, but His vision was blurring, his heartbeats heavy. I was a coward. I am a coward. Bing ding bing ding. I was too scared to tell him what I did. I hurt him more than anything, and now he's gone, and it's all my fault. Something hot stung his throat. Get the cops, Korie whispered. Tell them to go to St. Easterton Road, number 5B. In the landing cupboard, in a silver bag, that's where Luca's phone. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe you can track down the money. He clutched at the phone one final time. I'm sorry. Cold. I'm sorry. So cold. He was shivering as he dropped the phone to the ground and stamped on the thing under his heel. Plastic snapped, spiking into his skin. I'm so sorry. Efforts were abandoning him. His head hung low. I'm sorry. A hand closed cozy at his wrist. Kit Kat. Korie tried, but could only gag on the word. Louis. Just close your eyes. Huh? You trust me? Yeah? Then trust me, Kit Kat. Close your eyes. It's done. It's all done now. I know. I wish. Soft curls and hazel eyes came into hazy view. Thin fingertips gently guiding his eyelids shut. It's all done, Luca promised. All done now. Dawn broke, shimmering pale amber across the lawn, up the gravel drive, across the rooftops, over the crypt standing whole and unbroken now, passing the vast square hedges crowded into a maze, and out over the forest and hills. And for a moment the manor stood quiet and calm. The great oak doors opened. A man with long silver hair stepped out, admiring the crisp, clear morning. A butler emerged, offering a steaming cup and saucer. The silver-haired man took them with a fixed smile, and together they watched and awaited the next visitors called to Vanidicus House. That was like 3 hours of my life. I hope you enjoyed this story. I love you all very, very much. I am now going to go and have more cough sweets, because in hindsight, recording a video for like 3 hours was probably not the best thing to do after recovering from a cold. But we made it. And now I need to go and edit this. Happy Halloween, everyone. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. And I am afraid that if you continue to... Would you just stay still? Oh my god. God. Vigil continued that. What does that even say? I cannot read my own writing. Sorry, feature editing me. Continued. Okay. Vigil continued that. Break it or fucking hell. Cupiditas Cyber's Jenga sound. Jenga? What? Secret. As he slid it from its place, he heard the secret latch click and the shelf slung. Oh my god. What is this? As he slid it from its place, he heard the secret hatch click. Hatch? No, it's not a rabbit. Legs strung across. I'm getting the illusion now that I am further along than I am. So cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's just so cute. We're so close to the end of this. So close. Drama.